Hello and welcome to Flow and Restore Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. So for the first half, Vinyasa Flow, you'll want to have a couple of blocks and a strap. And for the second half, you'll want to add on a pillow and a blanket, maybe a few pillows. And let's begin in a comfortable seat or in child's pose. You decide what can help you to feel grounded as you begin this practice. So this Sunday, I am going to be teaching a live in-person workshop, or rather play shop, exploring knowledge of the 7 main energy centers called chakras so that we can be attuned to when they're in balance. Each chakra has certain characteristics that govern our mind-body health. And as we become more attuned with our energy centers, we can day to day, moment by moment, regulate our own wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, all the realms. So with that being said, let's take a moment to just visualize those energy centers. They're in the energy body, which is more subtle. But my yoga psychology teacher, Ashley Turner, says that they are the intersection of psyche, or the mind, and soma, the body. Judith Anodea, a PhD who wrote Wheels of Life, which is a whole book on the chakras, says that when we work with the chakras, having knowledge of them, even at the basic level, it's much about healing and releasing old constricting patterns of thought, beliefs, patterns of movement, patterns of all the different things that we do throughout life, how we eat, interact with each other. So let's begin as you are, whether you're in child's pose or you're up sitting, to literally feel the ground beneath your physical body and sense your connection to Mother Earth, our planet herself. This is a huge part of the health of your root energy center, located around the base of your spine. You might visualize the color red and imagine breathing into the area of the base of your spine, in through the nose, and let any sound out through the mouth. It's also about connection to your physical body, your sense of safety and belonging in this world. Notice how you feel about those aspects of your being right now as we do this check-in. And then bring your attention towards your lower belly, lower back region, where sits your sacral energy center. And this is much about your sexual health, your emotional well-being, and your ability to flow with the changes of life, knowing it's all impermanent. When we're stuck in our ways, or when we're unable to cultivate emotional intelligence and rely on all spectrum of emotions, including the difficult ones, as messengers, then this can cause some issues in the area of Svadhisthana chakra, where our reproductive organs mostly sit too. So you might imagine here the color orange as you take a deep inhale in your mind's eye, your lower belly, lower back. And then open the mouth, empty the breath. The third main chakra sits around your upper belly, mid-back, your solar plexus energy center. And here is the gift of your willpower to move into action in alignment with your sense of purpose and what you hold sacred. It's also about cultivating a healthy sense of ego, not letting the ego rule you, but you utilizing or knowing when the ego is talking. It's also where you create your I-ness, your sense of self. Notice how you might feel about any of those aspects of your being as you imagine taking a deeper inhale into the solar plexus. Open the mouth, empty the breath. And then raise your attention to your center of your chest around your sternum. This is your heart energy center. And it's much about your ability to connect with your heart, yourself, your inner being, and with the world around you, with other beings, with a balanced exchange of giving and receiving. It's your ability to realize that you are inherently, as yoga teaches, pure love, prema. So notice how you feel about this aspect of your life. You might imagine the color green as you breathe into your heart energy center. Open your mouth, let out any sound. And now raise your attention to your throat, your neck, the area of your throat energy center. And this is the gift to communicate clearly, compassionately, and truthfully. Being able to voice your truth and to listen with empathy for others' truths. And it's also about your creative expression. You might visualize the color blue as you take a deep breath into the area of your throat. Then open the mouth, let out any sound, ha. And then raise your attention to your brow center towards the middle of your forehead. And this is your ability to connect to your intuition, your inner knowing, your inner guidance, and to see life clearly, to see through illusions, even the illusions in our mind, our misconceptions. This, you might imagine the color indigo and breathe into your brow center. Open the mouth, empty the breath with any sound. And then the last, or the seventh main energy center, there are energy centers all throughout the body, but these are just the 7 main ones. At the crown of your head, the gift of the crown energy center is your ability to remember that you are reflected in the other, and the other is reflected in you, in our interconnectedness, that nothing is separate. What you do to yourself or what you do to another affects us all in the end. So at the crown, you might imagine the color white or purple and take a deep breath in. Empty the breath. Bowing in, maybe join your hands together at your heart and take a moment to clarify your why for showing up to your practice today. Preparing to chant together as a community, creating resonance. Let's take 3 ohms, empty this breath. Take a deep inhale. Bow in towards your heart, your inner teacher. Start to deepen your breath slowly and evenly through your nose, while softly constricting or narrowing the back of your throat. Beginning to practice Ujjayi Pranayama, regulating your mind, body to a state of balance. So as you listen to that breath rhythm, please come down onto your back. Bend your knees towards your chest. And then open your arms wide like a T. Let's start in a spinal twist here. So drop the right shoulder, maybe scoot your pelvis another 4 inches towards the right edge of your mat. And then gently drop your knees to the left side, only as far as your right shoulder can stay on the ground. For about 5 breaths here, you might look over your right shoulder, stretching your neck. So we'll touch upon physical ways through the asana practice to activate energy flow or unstuck energy flow through those 7 main chakras. And then slowly lift your knees, maybe scoot your pelvis closer to the left edge of your mat. And then pick up your feet, drop your knees to the right. Maybe look over the left shoulder, making sure to ground it. 5 breaths. And then we'll move into stillness, bringing more attention to our subtle energy body, preparing us for meditation today, focusing on awakening energy through your 7 main chakras. And then come back to center. Bend your knees to hover right on top of your hips. Extend your arms forward on the ground. So your palms are facing each other, but the arms are on the floor, shoulders are on the ground, neck is long. Now, firm your belly towards your back just to shorten the space between the ground and your lower back. Most of us have a curvature there. Without eliminating that space, firm in the abdomen, flex or point your feet together, and then take a deep breath in to extend the legs forward, hovering the feet off the ground, maybe just a foot. And then as you exhale, bend your knees again to hover right over your hips. If that feels too much, then do one leg at a time like this. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Let's take another 5 rounds. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. If you want to add more rigor, bring your hands behind your skull, lift the head and shoulders. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Nice and slow to the breath. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 3 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure you're not overarching the lower back here. Inhale, straighten. Keep hugging in the belly. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Now pause here. Lift the arms forward. Take a breath in and then start to rise up into Navasana. Now you can catch hold of the backs of your thighs and bend your knees, kick your legs forward to help sit up taller. Or you could release the arms forward and or straighten the legs. Let's take 5 breaths. Inhale, lift up from the base of your spine to your crown. Exhale, 5. Slow the breath down in. Exhale, relax the shoulders down. Inhale, roll the shoulder head slightly behind you. Broaden the collarbones. Exhale, 3. Inhale, draw your navel towards your back and lift it up. Exhale, 2. 1 more, deep breath, sitting tall. Cross your ankles. Place your fingertips alongside your hips. At the end of your exhale, lift your pelvic floor and see what happens if you might be able to lift your pelvis off the ground. Breathe in, empty the breath, hold it out, lift your pelvic floor and press off. And then switch your ankle cross. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale completely, hold it out, lift your pelvic floor and press up. Nice, and then come on to hands and knees, all 4s. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in Adho Mukha Svanasana to move your body any way you might need to loosen up. As you start to hold still, spread your fingers really wide so the index fingers are not at all pointing at each other. They're facing forward or slightly turned out. Broaden across your shoulders by rolling your triceps downward. Drop your head, look towards your feet and steady your gaze. Now keeping your 2 hips squared towards the floor or leveled in height. Lift from the inseam of your leg. Inhale, raise the right flexed foot way behind you. And then as you exhale, cross the right knee to tap your left elbow or outer upper arm. Come forward to stack both shoulders above both wrists. Inhale, back to 3-legged dog, squaring your hips. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose and round your back forward into plank pose. Inhale, back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, tap the knee outside your right upper arm and step the foot forward outside of your right hand. So come onto the ball of your back foot. Let's keep the back knee lifted in this variation, and you can have your hands on blocks if that helps here to relax the shoulders, or fingertips on the ground. We're gonna flow. So bending the front knee just over the heel, take a deep breath and allow your pelvis to sink. So this is a grounding and sacral opening posture. As you exhale, begin to scissor your right outer hip back. Keep the feet where they are as you straighten the front leg to your degree and bow. Inhale again to your lizard lunge. Exhale into that wide version of pyramid pose. 3 more times. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Last, inhale, lunge. And exhale, pyramid. This time, come back to your lizard lunge and let's place the back knee on the floor. Scoot it back another inch or 2 and backstroke your right arm as you bend the left knee. See if you might be able to hold on to the top of your left foot, stretching into your left quadricep. So this is a great posture for stretching the muscles surrounding the knees. If you have stiffness in the knees, it's a great posture after a run. So we're stretching into the front muscle of the left thigh as you bring that left foot towards you. And as you flex your right foot, stabilizing the right knee, let's splay open the right knee to lean the outer edge of the foot onto the floor without rolling onto the ankle. So that gets into your IT band along your outer right hip. Often when that's very tight, that can cause stiffness in the knee. Take another 5 slow breaths here. Relax the shoulders away from the neck. And if you're not reaching for your back foot, you can still extend the right arm towards the back wall and get a little bit of a twist here, a spinal twist. One more deep breath. Please make your way back to downward facing dog. Spreading your fingers flat and lifting your hips high and rooting down through your heels. Couple more deep breaths. Now keep your 2 hips leveled, firm your outer hips towards your midline, and inhale, raise your left leg with a foot flexed from the inseam of the leg. Exhale, glide forward and cross that knee to tap your right outer upper arm or elbow. Keep your shoulders balanced right over the wrists. Inhale back to 3-legged dog. Now through center, exhale, contract your belly and round, bend the knee towards your nose. Inhale back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, tap the knee outside of your left upper arm, forward in plank, then gently step the left foot forward outside of your left hand. Stay high on the ball of your back foot, so notice if you might want to use blocks under your hands. Take a breath in here, let your pelvis sink. Exhale, scissor your left outer hip back to straighten the leg to your degree as you bow. Let's flow. Inhale, lizard lunge. Exhale, straighten into pyramid pose. 3 more times. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. And exhale, pyramid. This time, return to a lunge. Lower your back knee and scoot it back another inch or 2 so that as you bend it, you're not putting weight on your kneecap, but you're putting weight on your thigh. Then backstroke your left arm and see if you might be able to reach for the top of that foot. Bring it gently closer. Now with your left leg, flex the left foot as you splay open the thigh, just enough to lean the outer edge of the foot on the floor, not rolling onto the outer ankle. As you extend your spine down the center of your mat, scissor your left outer hip back, and let's take another 5 deep breaths. Notice what you sense here in your body. One more deep breath. And gently release the leg. Let's land at the top of your mat in a forward fold with feet hips width apart and parallel. Press your fingertips on your legs or the ground and inhale. Lift the crown of your head forward towards a flat back. Pause and breathe here. Remember, you could bend your knees any amount so you're not rounding your back. Feel your belly active. Draw it in towards the spine and send the shoulders back. Get a little bit longer as you shift more weight forward. Now keep your spine like a flat back and exhale, bow over your legs. Press firmly through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward as you rise to stand. Roll your shoulders behind your ears and lift your heart and gaze. Bring your hands together, and as though blessing your 7 chakras, exhale from your crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root. Sun salutation, B, variation. Bring your feet to touch and inhale, bend your knees to touch, chair pose. Let's move to the breath. Exhale, bow over your legs. Press the ground to your legs. Inhale, lengthen forward to a flat back. This round, walk to plank, and to exhale, glide forward. Graze your elbows by your ribs. Pause in Chaturanga. You can place the knees down. Then lower all the way. Press down to the tops of your feet and hug your elbows close. Inhale, coil your chest up to Cobra pose. Relax the shoulders. Tuck your toes, firm the belly in. Exhale, press up to your version of plank. Lift your pelvis back, downward dog. Keep your hips squared. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose and step the foot beside your right thumb. Stay on the ball of your back foot in a high lunge. Then inhale, root through your feet to rise to crescent pose. Joining your hands at your heart, spin the left heel down, slide the right foot to the left, heel arch. Open the arms, exhale to warrior 2. Scissor the right hip back, reach the right forearm to your right thigh or the hand to the right side of the right leg. Inhale, sweep the left arm towards your front wall and spiral your chest towards the sky, extended side angle pose. Exhale, lower your hands in plank, glide forward and down, Chaturanga. This time choose Cobra or Upward Dog as you breathe in. Exhale, Downward Dog. To the breath. Inhale, raise your left leg, keeping your hips leveled. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose around to plank. Step the foot beside your left thumb, stay high in a lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent, join your hands at your heart. Turn to your right, align heel to arch. Exhale, the arms open to warrior 2. Shift the hips back, place the left forearm on the left thigh or hand outside the left leg. Inhale, sweep the right arm overhead and spiral your chest towards the sky. Extended side angle pose. Exhale from plank, shift forward and down. Take it through your vinyasa. At downward facing dog, cultivate stillness and focus, steadying your breathing. After your third exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat in a forward fold. Let your feet touch. Inhale, lengthen forward to a flat back. Exhale, bow down. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sit low in chair pose. Join your hands, exhale, rise to mountain, and that's our flow. Let's take 2 rounds, 1 breath, each movement. Slow your breath down so that you're not rushing, but your intention is in being present. Here we go. Inhale, bend your knees, chair pose. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise forward, halfway up. Walk to plank or float to Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or Upward Dog. Exhale, Downward Dog. Inhale, lift the right leg back. Exhale, round forward. Step through to a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent, join the hands. To the left, exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, right forearm to right thigh or hand to the floor, side angle pose. Exhale from plank, lower to your vinyasa. Listen to your breath. Downward dog, side 2. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, round forward to plank. Step it through, high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent. Here, right, exhale, warrior two. Left hand forward, right arm overhead. Inhale, side angle pose. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Remember, you have the option to rest or vary the movement as you need. 3 breaths at downward facing dog. As you steady your gaze, you help to steady your mental focus. An important quality of cultivating health in your third eye center or brow center. After you empty the third breath, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. With feet touching, inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. With knees touching, inhale, sit low to chair pose. Exhale, rise to mountain. Last round. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Walk or float, vinyasa. At downward facing dog, inhale, raise right leg. Exhale, round, high lunge. Inhale, rise, crescent pose. Exhale to the left, warrior two. Inhale, forward, side angle pose. Exhale, lower to your vinyasa. Downward dog. Inhale, raise left leg. Exhale, round forward to a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent pose. Exhale to your right, warrior two. Reach forward, inhale, side angle pose. Exhale, lower to your vinyasa. Downward dog, 3 breaths. Slow down your breathing. So we're going to climax our yang portion or active yoga portion with an inversion of your choice. Downward dog, you can hold another 10 breaths if you like. Maybe lift a leg and then the other. Dolphin pose, come down to your forearms, elbows, shoulders width apart. Interlace the fingers, shoulders away from the neck, and then tuck your toes if you'd like to come into dolphin. Perhaps you practice Salamba Shirshasana, which we've been working on. Head to the floor, lifting the legs straight up, feet together, flexed. Whatever your active inversion, so that's not shoulder stand or legs up the wall pose. Take about 10 breaths and then we'll meet in child's pose. So shifting our perspective literally upside down by bringing our body upside down is also helpful for the health of your third eye center, which is much about perspective, perception, seeing life more clearly, not being stuck in one point of view. But also the crown energy center is you're literally bringing more blood flow to your brain. When you arrive at child's pose, we're going to be there for 20 breaths. So set up comfortably to make it more of a restorative child's pose. You could use 2 blocks, medium height. Place them across your mat to give your triceps a stretch. You can place your elbow tips, shoulders distance apart on the blocks, and then press your fingertips of each hand into each other, tracing your thumbs down the back of your neck as you drop your head and send the shoulders back. Pelvis is sinking down towards the feet. Triceps are rotating towards the ground. So 20 breaths. Breathe slowly. And notice in this transition from continuous flow in active yoga to sustained pause, what surfaces in your mind or elsewhere. Do you tend to welcome the pause and stillness? Do you tend to have an aversion towards being still? No judgment, just being curious and befriending your experience as it is. About 2 more slow breaths here. And take your time slowly lifting your torso upright. As I play DJ for a moment and bring in our yin music, please grab your pillow, any props. And let's set up like this. We'll start with the most support as we set up for Supta Virasana. We did have a request for promoting the health of our knees. So this one is a good one for just helping it to be more flexible. So let's set up 2 blocks at the rear of your mat, stacked like this on their lowest height, and then place your pillow on top, tracing the midline of your mat. This is towards the rear of your mat, so it's an incline. Now, if your knees are sensitive to you sitting directly on your shins like this, you could take your blanket and roll it up. The thicker the roll, the more support you're giving your knees. So notice how much support, if any, that your knees need. And then you can place that blanket right up against the backs of your knees. I've had knee surgery in the past in which I couldn't even bend my knee less than 90 degrees. So this was a huge way for me to support myself in this pose. So notice if that's helpful. If you're able to sit directly on your calves, no problem, then you might go further and manually, gently move your calves aside with your hands and sit down on the ground right between your heels. Make sure that your toes are pointing back, your feet are not turned out. And then from here, you want to scoot pretty much right up against that lowest part of the pillow. Knees are no wider than hips distance. And just notice for a moment what you're feeling, especially around your thighs, your knees. This is actually a stretch for the quadriceps. And when they're very tight, that can pull on the knees and create stiffness and tension. So we're lengthening one of the largest muscles in your body. So maybe right here is plenty and you stay upright. You don't need to lean back. Or you can start to lean back slowly, paying mindful attention to your lower back. You don't want to feel like you're overarching and tilting the pelvis forward, but rather think about stretching the tailbone forward towards the space between your knees, lifting your frontal hip bone slightly towards your lowest front ribs, and softening the bottom of your front ribs down towards your pubic bone. All of that is to eliminate overarching and compressing the lower back. Now know that you could add more pillows if you want to come up a little higher, or remove the pillow and make one block high, one block low, like we do in our supported back bend. So the low block, the medium height block, traces the area right under your scapula, and the back of your skull is resting on the tallest block. Or some of you might remove the props altogether if you can comfortably, without strain, especially in the knees, lie flat on the ground. You might also raise the arms overhead and catch opposite elbows, stretching into the sides of your torso. Let's take another 10 breaths here. And if you're holding opposite elbows at breath 5, switch elbows. Really slow down your breathing and imagine breathing into the areas of your body that might be tugging at your attention right now. Take your time finishing your 10 breaths at your pace. And when you're ready to come out of this posture, take your time. Don't jump right out. In fact, try taking several breaths to move throughout the stages of exiting this pose and arriving at tabletop pose, which is hands and knees on the floor. And when you arrive at tabletop pose, you may want to have your block, at least one block, off to the side, somewhere near the front where you can reach it with your hand. And we're going to set up for a variation of thread the needle, a spinal twist. So try from hands and knees, stepping your right foot out to the right so that the sole of the foot is flat on the floor and the arch, the inner arch of the foot, aligns with your left kneecap. Then inhale, raise your right arm up high and spread across your wings. Exhale, thread the right arm under your left bend to elbow and rest the right side of your head on the floor or on your block. Make sure your head is supported here. Now, if you're finding that this variation of thread the needle is too cumbersome, then go ahead and place your right knee on the ground and take the traditional version. And right here, let's take another 15 slow breaths. The mind often wants a task, something to do. And so by giving it a counting task, counting your breaths, that can be one technique for calming it down and being in the present moment. The ways that we awaken and balance energy at our upper chakras, like from the heart, the throat, the brow center, and the crown, are through more introspective practices, including meditation, journaling, personal reflection, prayer, doing things that cultivate concentration. The practices of the last few limbs of the 8 limbs of yoga. Now, at your own pace, when you finish your 15 deep breaths here, then take your time to transition back to tabletop pose and pause there with a flat back and neutral spine for at least 3 breaths. Just giving your spine a moment to unwind and inform you of the effects of that asana. And when you're ready for side 2, if you took that leg variation, step your left foot out to the left so the sole is planted on the earth. The inner arch of the foot is aligned with your right knee. Raise your left arm on an inhale. Exhale, thread it under your right bend to elbow and rest the left side of your head on the floor or on a prop. 15 slow, even breaths. Take your time. When you finish your 15th breath here, ease your way back to all fours. And again, pause there with a neutral spine, observing, breathing. And let's slide the legs out in front. Take your strap if you'd like to use it. We're going to come into Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. So you can use that strap and step the ball of your right foot into it. Turn out your left thigh at the hip and hug the foot high up on your inner right thigh. Square your chest towards your right foot. Hold the strap if you're using one with 2 hands. And then kick your foot against the strap as you're pulling the strap with enough slack in it where your shoulders can roll slightly behind your ears and down your back. Imagine you have a flat back as you sit up a little taller. Notice if it might help to sit up on something like a folded blanket. Breathe in, hug in the belly, exhale from your hips, hinge forward just a little bit. Pause, breathe in, plug the pelvis down and stretch your spine further. Keep your throat open, exhale, fold another little bit, just like that. Let's take another 10 breaths here. If you're not using a strap, you could be walking your hands down your right leg, maybe holding onto the sole of your foot, if you can do so without closing off your neck. When you finish your 10 deep breaths in head to knee pose, start to lift your spine, keeping that sense of a flat back as you inhale. And if you're using it, transfer the strap onto the ball of your left foot. Turn out your right thigh and bring the sole of the foot high on your inner left thigh. Press your left foot against the strap as you pull the strap with enough slack to allow your shoulders to roll back and down. Sit up a little taller as you breathe in. Hinge forward from your hips as you breathe out. 10 full breaths. And when you finish your 10 breaths, inhale, slowly lift your torso upright. Now have a pillow or a block nearby as you lie down onto your back. And then flex your feet. Start with your knees bent right over your hips. Take hold of your knees with your hands and gently, as you keep your shoulders and tailbone on the ground, gently splay open the thighs into supine frog pose. So the knees are bent at 90-degree angles. Slow breaths here. Now you have the option of resting your arms on your inner thighs, just helping to splay them open further, or you could clasp your big toes with your index and middle fingers and straddle the legs apart. Keep rooting your tailbone on the ground for the stability and support of your lower back. Let's take 10 more deep breaths. When you're ready to come out of this posture, bring your hands to your outer thighs and slowly draw your thighs together. Step your feet on the ground and then grab your pillow or block. Lifting your hips, slide it underneath the flat part of your lower back or your sacrum. Preparing to lift the legs up, make sure that the block is stably and comfortably supporting you. And then extend the legs up. They don't have to be completely straight. Let them be relaxed straight. Supported shoulder stand. So this is also considered an inversion or going upside down, ways to promote your circulation, especially from the feet to the reproductive organs, through the digestive organs, back to the heart, up to the brain. So right where you are resting, let's take another 5 slow breaths. You might focus on breathing into your abdomen, gently expanding it as you inhale and relaxing it as you exhale. This is a breathing technique that helps to promote the relaxation response of your nervous system as well as stimulate your digestion. This is a mantra that acknowledges our interconnectedness with all of life, all of nature. It talks about how we are in the stars and the stars are in us. It's an ancient Sanskrit mantra known to promote whole being healing and is centered on the heart energy. So as you continue to soak in that mantra, Start to lower your feet gently onto the ground. Remove the prop from underneath and draw your bent knees together into your chest, maybe rocking gently. Turn to one side and let's lift our bodies upright to sit for a brief pranayama practice. Each chakra, each 7 main chakra, is related to an element of the earth, like fire, water, air, ether. The heart chakra is related to what the organ near the heart, what main organ near the heart takes in, air. So it's near the lungs. So as we practice pranayama, different techniques of breathing, we help to bring health to the heart energy center and encourage the flow of prana, life force energy. Chinese medicine, it's called qi. So let's begin Nadi Shodhana pranayama, which also helps to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain. So it also affects the brow center, the pineal gland, where the pineal gland sits, the crown energy center, as we tune deeper into our subtle energy body. So close the lips, continue to breathe slowly but gently through the nose. Rest your left hand on your lap. Maybe bring the thumb and first finger to touch to help concentrate. And with your right hand, stick out the thumb, pinky, and ring finger. This is called Vishnu Mudra. We'll be using the right thumb to cover the right nostril when we inhale or exhale through the left nostril. We'll be using the right pinky and ring finger to cover the left nostril when we inhale or exhale through the right nostril. So exhale this breath. Hold it out, sitting tall and relaxed. Cover the right nostril. Inhale through the left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 3, 2, 1. Cover the left nostril. Exhale through right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 3, 2, 1. Inhale through right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Cover right nostril. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. That's one cycle finished. Inhale through left. 6. Hold the breath for 3. Cover left. Exhale right for 6. Hold the breath for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold 3. Cover right. Exhale left. 6. Hold 3. That's the second cycle complete. Inhale left for 6. Hold 3. Cover left, exhale right, 6. Hold 3. Inhale right, 6. Hold 3. Cover right, exhale left, 6. Hold 3. That's the third cycle complete. Take 2 more cycles on your own. So the end of the cycle is when you finish exhaling through left nostril and holding the breath out. At your own pace, without rushing, when you finish, sit for a moment and observe how you feel, the effects of that breathing technique. And if you're already closing your eyes, you might keep them closed as you begin to transition into corpse pose, lowering your body to lie down in a position of rest and stillness. Rest a bit longer where you are lying down. And sense how you feel energetically right now. Notice if anything has changed since you arrived in your practice today. continue this practice of pratyahara, which means tuning inward, withdrawing from external stimuli. The fifth limb of yoga. And just listen to how your body is informing you. Use your felt sense to see what wants to move first. Be very gentle with yourself. And next, maybe a simple, easy stretch. From one slow and easy movement to another, please begin to lift your body up, rising into a comfortable seat of your choice. You might sit up on a pillow for our 10 minutes of guided meditation. So as I mentioned, our meditation will be focusing on cultivating balance of energy flow through your 7 main chakras. So as you sit tall, align the crown of your head to stack right above the base of your spine, honoring the curvatures of your spine. Align your 2 shoulders to stack right above your 2 hips. Place your hands where it allows you to feel grounded and connected between your inner and outer being. And maybe bring your hands into a mudra that helps you to focus. I like to place my palms stacked face up at the center of my lap with the thumb tips touching, as that helps me to create a feeling of safety and balance. So take the position or mudra that works for you and either close your eyes or steady a soft gaze onto one object ahead. And though your body is alert and upright, allow it to feel at ease, not rigid. Similarly, as you bring your attention through your 7 main chakras, let your awareness be gentle, not forced or rigid. In the same manner in which we practice asana or physical yoga. So begin by resting your awareness in the part of your body in which you feel your breath naturally flowing. Without controlling the breath. Any time during this meditation that your attention goes astray, or you find it easier to focus on your breath, return your awareness here. And now I invite you to bring your attention to the base of your spine, the location of Muladhara Chakra, your root energy center. There you might visualize the color red and picture from the base of your spine sort of roots like a tree, as well as an umbilical cord extending from the base of your spine down into the earth below and towards the center of the earth. Feeling a sense of being supported physically as Mother Earth nourishes us through many ways: the food we eat, the air we breathe, the ground we walk on. Sense the ways that our planet takes care of us. And sense the ways that your body takes care of you. And you take care of your body. Call to mind any community that you belong to, maybe your household, maybe this yoga community. And sense the ways you are supported even if simply by the community showing up and sharing their practice with you, like right now. Rest in that feeling of safety, stability, and being supported. And then I invite you to bring your attention to your sacrum, lower belly, just below the belly button, in which you might imagine the color orange, Svadhisthana chakra, sacral energy center. The element of the earth is water as we look onto our emotions, which can show up as water when you cry, tears of joy, tears of sorrow, but also how emotions flow in and out of us, emotions being impermanent, just like water changes state and form. Can you look to your various emotions as guides? Not to be entangled in, but as things to observe, give you information of areas to address in your life. Perhaps sometimes areas to heal in your life. So rather than looking away from our emotions, especially the uncomfortable ones, how do you experience them fully and utilize their messages skillfully? And I invite you to bring your attention to your upper belly, below your rib cage, solar plexus energy center, or Manipura chakra. You might visualize the color yellow. What stokes your fire to action, to stand up for what you believe in, to be confident, to align to your sense of purpose with tapas, fiery discipline, devotion to what you hold sacred. This is your inner fire, your inner sun, your solar power, solar plexus. And then bring your attention up to the middle of your chest, Anahata chakra, heart energy center. Perhaps imagine the color green. Notice what happens when you breathe out. You share your breath with the world. Notice what happens when you breathe in. You receive breath. This is constantly happening. Can we balance the exchange, not overextending ourselves, but setting healthy boundaries, as well as loving wholeheartedly, being vulnerable, being compassionate and forgiving. Think of someone that you love and let that feeling expand within your heart center. Raise your attention to your throat area, Vishuddha chakra, throat energy center. How do you communicate your truth with courage and creativity? Clarity, clear intent, honestly. In turn, communication goes both ways. How do you offer whole being listening to others who communicate to you. Color is blue. Bring your attention up to your brow center, Ajna Chakra, also called your third eye center, the area where sits your pineal gland, which regulates your biorhythms, your melatonin. Ajna Chakra is your seat of truth and wisdom. How often do you listen to your intuition? How often do you trust your inner guidance? The more you do, the more you strengthen your ability to listen and to connect with that wise teacher within you. Now please raise your attention to the top of your head, Sahasrara Chakra, crown energy center. Perhaps visualize the color white, showering your whole being as you remember that you are connected to everything, even across the globe. What is happening there affects you here, and what is happening here affects you there. So as you do the inner work to heal yourself, to be healthy, to be joyful, your presence ripples. Now, closing this meditation practice, let's use our voice. Open up Vishuddha, chanting the sound of interconnectedness, Om, 3 times. Empty this breath, sit tall, take a deep in-breath. To meet at your heart, bowing in. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.